Uncensored. UnregularRadio.com.
We're back live, Two Hotheads, where activism happens. That was a lively discussion. We had to cut short, unfortunately, but we really got into it. I think John might be pissed we didn't have more time for him today because he was really getting into it. He got it out, though, so come on.
Yeah, no, I think he had more.
He was like, you went on his rant. Let him go. Like, that's all he needed to do today. He contributed huge to our show. We had a huge show today as it was, and then now we have 4 minutes killed it.
Keeping it going.
Yeah. So now we have Zeti. If I'm saying his right name, probably not. You got to understand that I always say the names wrong. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right today.
I should just pronounce the name.
Yeah, why don't you say the name?
I think you already said it.
Hello, hey, guest today. Can you pronounce your name for us to make sure I said it? Tell me if I said it wrong.
You actually did say it wrong. A lot of people get that wrong, but it's actually Zeti.
Zeti.
Yes.
Thank you, Zeta. Zeta, you're a cultivation guru, I would say. You're self-taught. You're coming out here, or you're already out here, I'm not sure. DispensaryPermits.com. I saw you in Reason.com, looked at your videos. I'm interested in speaking to you today. What's going on with this event next Saturday in Boston?
Well, basically, in light of the dispensary application process that's happening there, we're actually putting on a seminar next weekend on March 2nd. It's on Saturday at the Sheraton Boston Hotel. I believe it's downtown Boston. And basically, we're pulling together all these different types of consultants and people that have been in the industry to help provide more education and resources to the state of Massachusetts, because there is such a lack of education and resources just across the country in general for people that haven't been exposed to this industry. So that's just a great way of actually finding out all these different items that are going to be needed, and of course, the different laws and things like that. So that's what we're trying to put together to help the people there in the state of Massachusetts to kind of guide them through this process. Basically, we have several different types of people that are going to be speaking. Some of the most important, I believe, are Burrito Patel and Sanjeev Patel. Now, they're the only medical marijuana dispensary owners on the East Coast in New Jersey. They're the only open dispensary in New Jersey. It's called Greenleaf Compassion. And they're going to be able to speak on behalf of dispensary operations and the law and things of that nature, to help guide people on the East Coast, because there is definitely a fundamental difference between operating a dispensary on the West Coast as opposed to operating one on the East Coast, because it's so new.
Absolutely.
So therefore, that's going to be very valuable to people there, so they can kind of get a feel of exactly how it's going to go down. Another speaker that's going to be there is named Sonny Singh. He's a franchise owner of We Grow Hydroponics, the biggest hydroponic store in Arizona. This is another part of the actual vertical of the industry that he's going to be speaking about, but it's very important, because obviously you can't grow any plants without the correct equipment and be able to provide the patients the medication that they need. So that's going to be a very important aspect to this conference, as well as we also have a local that's speaking there too. His name is Tom Fitzgerald. He's the managing director of Corporan and Hovland's Insurance Company. And basically, they manage insurance services and coverage for commercial medical marijuana clients. So that's just another aspect that I think is very important, making sure your investment is insured and things of that nature. And of course, me, I'm going to be speaking to as well, based on, my experience in this industry for the last 14 years, and I'm going to discuss expert cultivation practices and how it relates to the dispensary process.
Wow.
So that's kind of a wrap-up of what we're doing next weekend. I think it's going to be a pretty big event. I encourage everybody to come out. Even if you're not, going to participate in this application process, it's a great way of understanding how the industry works.
Yeah,
from our perspective.
Just even looking at your website, I think, is helpful for people, because it gives them an idea of what you're doing and why you need to do it, and how hard it really is going to be to get a dispensary. If you're going to get a dispensary in Mass, you're going to war. You're running a marathon and then some. And financial.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just for the fact that right now, the Department of Health has to basically edit these regulations they put out to tailor it to the state and tailor it to the public's needs. And they got 120 days to do that, and then you only have so much time to turn in that proposal. So it's definitely like a race. Obviously, it's the Northeast, so a lot of people are very interested in this. I mean, it's brand spanking new. I know a lot of people that have just been waiting for this to happen. So yes, it's definitely going to be a very competitive race, so to speak.
Yeah, and
to actually get one of these.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's very exciting for patients right now in Mass, because this is so new. I mean, I've I've been doing this for a while in terms of activism, and I've never really been the grower type. I've been a medical patient and kind of an organizer, and doing media and videos and things like that. Real activism on marijuana, and now we're winning. So many people are contacting me about this new law. Patients, they like their first time legal, and they have advice on whether they should grow or get a caregiver, or what should they be doing right now. Do you have any advice for patients, like on how to kind of navigate and decide for themselves whether they should be growing or finding a caregiver, and how to do these things, how to proceed?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously the process just to get your card, from what I've heard, is a pretty extensive process because there's so many people turning out for this. But I wouldn't start cultivating just yet. You want to make sure that you're in compliance, for one. I think that's one of the most important things, is protecting yourself, especially in such new territory as this is. I think that, basically, if they're going to cultivate for themselves, they're putting themselves at risk when the laws haven't even really been established yet, So I think, maybe waiting until, these regulations come out is a better idea. I think if they decide to cultivate for any reason, they have their license, they're allowed to cultivate, they want to make sure they're as far away from the school as possible, or public park, or anything like that, which could put them in jeopardy, because you want to be 1,000 feet away from the school no matter what.
And that's basically, yeah, in Boston or Somerville, you're basically or Cambridge, you're in a school zone anywhere in the city.
Yes, places like Suffolk, we believe that are going to be hard on the compliance issues, just for the fact that there's so many schools everywhere. And hopefully those, those counties and, the towns within those counties can come up with appropriate zoning laws for some of these dispensaries to make sure they're safe, not only, in state compliance, but also federal compliance. Because that's what we see in California, is that, a lot of these cities, they'll say like 800 feet or 700 feet. And that's actually putting that dispensary at risk with the federal government, because what happens is something may happen, like a kid picks up, a baggie or something, and then next thing you know, you have, the U.S. Attorney General coming in and doing raids. So it's just really important that you follow all the laws and stay in compliance at these new stages of this industry. And as things progress along, then, it becomes more defined and it becomes easier to do. I know that they're definitely going to be, allowing caregivers, to help with some of these patients that can't reach dispensaries. But see, once again, all these haven't totally been fully established yet. So, at this time, I believe that it's safer for a patient, for a cultivator, to basically just, hold off and wait to see what these regulations are.
I know. This is a tough time, too, because of all this. Just to see what's going on right now, it's like you're not really sure fully what to advise people as patients. It's still not right. It's still not solved.
Now, with the dispensary, like someone that's going for a dispensary application process, completely different thing. Like they should already be doing all their due diligence, like finding their location, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, let's talk about that more, because I want to talk about that, because there's so much involved in this. Tell us about if someone actually is great. Like I'm gonna say nuts enough, but there are people out there, and I know they're working on it. What does it entail to open a dispensary or get to bid on one of these permits? What the plan kind of looks like a little bit?
Well, obviously, we have to wait for these regulations to come out, because there's going to be a certain amount of criteria that the Department of Health will want you to kind of show to them. And obviously you need to hit that all in your proposal that you're going to submit to them, because, they're going to basically put out a request for a proposal. And at that time, they're going to identify this criteria. But before that, what's more important is to identify the location that you're, let's just say the county that you're trying to set up in. Make sure that you identify the location, you get that locked down. Make sure that, it's in compliance, of course, with the 1,000-foot limit. That's very important. And then also making sure you garnish that community support. I think that's one of the most important things, because this is all about the community, giving back to the community, making sure your patients are taken care of, all those kinds of things, more than just, some, multi-million-dollar ticket or something. And that's what the health department, I believe, wants to see is, how are you going to give back to the dispensary? And so you want to garnish as much local support as possible, whether it's, making sure you get the local support from your local police station, getting the letters of recommendation from them, or even like community leaders, things of that nature. I think that's all helpful in this process.
That's awesome advice. That's something you never even think of, right? To go and talk to, a priest or something like that, and get their support, and that just, bolsters you up, that much further in the permitting process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if it isn't required, what we've seen traditionally in the past, because we've done this from state to state to state, and we've seen how this progressed. We have a 100% success track record in what we've done. We haven't lost a single one yet. And the thing is that we've seen that how, you can hit all the criteria of the health department, but it's better to hit more because the health department wants to know that you're thinking about everything and then some. Because if you're not, then obviously, someone else is. So it's very important, especially in the infancy stages, it's very important to make sure you have all your bases covered and then more than that too as well. Because in a sense, you're educating the health department as well too. So, we feel that's very important.
Excellent. Well, and then how do you feel looking at the politics in Massachusetts right now? I don't know if you've been following this, but it seems like there's a campaign to really kind of rescind a lot of what was voted on. Do you think any of these laws will pass in Massachusetts, or do you think that we're gonna, things are gonna remain the same as they are with the medical?
I do believe that, as far as passing just a legal law like Colorado or Washington, you're saying?
No, well, not just that. No, right now in Massachusetts, there's a kind of an opposition at the state house where we're noticing all these state reps are filing bills to get rid of medical marijuana, to remove dispensaries, to remove the caregivers, to basically, one of the senators said they want to leave it to the U.S. Postal Service to deliver the marijuana to the patients.
Oh my God!
And it's who's going to provide it? The state? It didn't. You know what I mean? It's it was joke land. It's basically putting it into a box canyon where it goes nowhere. They just made it a joke. They basically said we're gonna make it work our way, but it doesn't work that way. Nothing will happen.
Well, there's always been two sides to this factor. I mean, this is the, age-old story. I mean, you've been in accident business for many years, so you definitely understand this. You're always going to have that opposing side. As far as Massachusetts goes, I don't think it's going to go the other direction. In fact, for the whole country, I don't think it's going to go the other direction. It's going to be left up to the states, and I believe, in the end. But in the same sense, you're always going to have that opposing force no matter what. So, you really just got to look at that and let them deal with it. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think that's going to change. No, I really don't.
Good.
I think this is definitely moving forward. I think there's a lot of support for this. I do think a lot of people are very interested in this. There is a lot of concern, obviously, because traditionally what you see is a lot of states that enact these programs before another state. They look at the other state's pitfalls. For instance, California is like the black sheep of this industry when it comes to this. Because there's so many pitfalls, there's so much crime, this, that, and the other, and they blame it all on that. When really it's all about having a strong regulatory process that everything's being tracked, everything's transparent, and that's how it really operates correctly. So I don't think it's heading in that direction. No.
Awesome. So this event is next Saturday. It's called the Green Rush.
Mm-hmm.
We have it all. We have it all over our Facebook pages.
Sure do.
We got a lot of people actually saying they're gonna check it out and go down there. So this thing starts at what time was it? 8 a.m. or 9 a.m.?
Yeah, it starts at 9 a.m. It's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. At the Sheraton Boston Hotel, 39 Dalton Street, I believe.
That's a nice location. That's downtown.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just mine alone is just my presentation alone is going to be very, very informative for everybody. And we design it to where beginners can understand it and advanced users can understand it. So, for instance, I know there's going to be some people out there that already have the experience. This is just going to help them do it even better. So, I mean, it's kind of open for everyone to really kind of come to this. Obviously, if you're participating in this process, it can be very valuable to you. But even somebody that just wanted to come check it out and kind of understand a little bit more about the industry, I think would be totally beneficial.
Oh, definitely. I think it's worthwhile, and I'm glad to see it happening. And I think another thing, it might be good for networking in and out of there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I wish I had we just see who was there. But I thank you so much for coming in today. Tell us about yourself too. Tell us more about what your background and what you're doing in the future, because I know you've been in this for a while, and you had that reason.com. I really like that little feature they did on you. Tell us about what you're doing now.
Okay, so basically, like I said, I've been in this industry for about 14 years. Basically right after the California law passed back in 1996, I was helping, some patients kind of grow their own. That's where I first started learning how to do this. I've learned everything from the old school grower techniques, which I think are very valuable because, there's a lot of wisdom there, all the way up to the new school kind of way of growing. Just over the years, I've just developed, many techniques, fine-tuned them, for commercial operations, all the way down to your smallest closet for your patient. I build these semi-truck trailers, like 53-foot semi-truck trailers are sold under the name Kabloom by We Grow. I designed those. I was the first prototype designer of those. And basically, we built like state-of-the-art hydroponic grow rooms in there. Not to the fact that you can drive around with plants in it, but it's the fact that you can actually put them into a warehouse. So you don't have to do damage to the inside of that building or that structure. And then if something goes wrong with it, say you have a security breach or something like that, then you're able to take it out of there and move to a new location and still produce the same consistent results. So, I produced that particular product and created that, as well as started selling those commercially, as well as just, helped with, all kinds of patients, everybody you can possibly think about in this industry, all the way back from, back in 1996 when I first started. And then dispensary permits came out. I was one of the co-founders of them. This opened up 3 years ago. And then we've just gone from state to state, applying the same information. Me personally, my expertise in cultivation, and as far as that goes. But just all these experts that come together and help the public. Like I said, there's just such a lack of resources and education out there. Even on the internet, it's just you only have so much to that you can work off.
It's
of.
so
That's
true.
Why we're here to help.
It's so true. It's so true. This is what I've been getting to this week too, because I've seen people who are insiders politically, like people that helped and worked to get this law, like that were on the board with the group that did it for medical.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know what's going on. They don't know where the doctors are. They don't know. I'm like, how can you not know? Why are you talking about marijuana when you want marijuana?
Well, that's what I'm curious about.
The funniest thing all about this too is that they don't even tell you, they don't even give you any kind of specifications when these laws enact of where to get your seeds, or where to get your clones. It's all a black area. So like I said, this industry is in an infancy stage. I think it's important to follow any type of compliance that you can, and just have very safe cultivation practices and make sure you have the highest in your security as possible. Just making sure everything's complete, or else you run into a serious amount of problems. Not only just with the compliance issue, but even with the cultivation issue. Like, let's just say you don't plant your plants in enough time. Now you're a month away because it takes 2 months for your plants to grow up. So you have to time all this completely right. Everything needs to be in perfect scheduling in order for it to work effectively. Otherwise, you end up with problems. But that's a little bit about me. I've just been in this issue for a very long time, and I know exactly what needs to take place. There's a formula to it, and that's kind of what we bring to the table.
Awesome. Sounds like a great event.
Absolutely. Sounds like a wicked great event.
We also hear Cheryl Schumann's going to supposedly be there. Is that true? Or is that
she will be there. I believe she'll do a little speech too as well. Cheryl Schumann will be there. I believe there's going to be a lot of different marijuana celebrities that might be rolling through too as well. So I think it's going to be a pretty exciting event. But like I said, the most important thing is that you're going to get educated on all these different aspects more than some of the seminars that I've seen out there for sure. Yeah. And you're just going to get the real truth basically, and that's what people need is the truth.
Yeah, and get armed with the tools so you can succeed rather than just kind of wander around like trying to figure it out on your own.
Precisely. What you're going to learn at this particular event, just on mine alone, you could read a book 3 times over and not learn the stuff that you're going to actually learn at this event. So it's this industry secret, special types of systems and setups. There's all these different special things that you can't really find on the internet, or no one's really really wanting to release it without you paying tons of money. It's something that's very special, I believe. So I'm really thankful to be a part of it. It's great.
I think it's just special just to even get a picture with Cheryl Schumann over there. It's like the Beverly Hills marijuana of what do they call it? The not the Betty Crocker. I think Betty Crocker, but there's the other one, Martha Stewart of marijuana. She's the Beverly Hills. She's the Beverly Hills lady too, but you know what I mean. She's all about the marijuana, and she's like, she was on Ricky Lake recently too. Oh yeah. She's
Ricky Lake's back on TV.
Oh yeah. But then I got canceled.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Poor Ricky.
Yep.
She's gone through so much since Hairspray.
But we want to say thank you so much for calling in today.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Not a problem.
Absolutely, and don't forget, what's the event's going to be tomorrow, right? From
not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Next Saturday. Excuse me.
March
Saturday,
2nd,
March 2nd. Yep.
So you got plenty of time to sign up. Sign up right now.
Yep. You can go there right now to dispensarypermits.com and you can check it out. It's at the Sheraton Boston Hotel next Saturday, March 2nd, 39 Dalton Street. Is that, I think, right?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was awesome. And
hey, thank you guys. Yeah,
I
I would love to see you guys down there, man. Like I said, we can hang out and I can discuss some more about the process and enlighten you a little bit more about it if you guys come down. So I think it's gonna be awesome.
That sounds good. We might come down. We do this on Saturday,
Yeah,
so
we
it's
kinda
kind of
do,
tough
so
for
it'll be
us.
tough.
But maybe we'll be down early. If we get up early that day.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't mind you guys broadcasting from there.
That might be an idea.
Would we be able to do that?
We might. We'll see.
We'd have to finagle.
We're gonna have to
something.
talk. Some more work.
Right,
Today was awesome.
Right.
I want to thank you so much. I mean, I really think that people should check this out.
Yeah.
You know, no matter if you're going to do a dispensary or not, just for the amount of what's going on.
Well, even for caregivers, or just to get the information on how, like the growing tips and things like that, and how to deal with federal law, because I'm sure the federal law applies to caregivers too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Caregivers are just designed just for patients that don't have access. You're going to have some of these patients that are just stuck. They can't do anything. They're either, terminally ill or, they just don't have, they're handicapped. They don't have, like, a way to get down to the dispensary. Now, that caregiver can either go down to the dispensary and pick it up for them, so they're allowed to be in possession of it, or grow it for them. If they grow it for them, obviously it's better for the patient because, for one, you're controlling the quality of the medicine. For two, you're not, subject to, the rates and the prices of that medicine from dispensaries. And for three, it's just all around. They'll have access all year round to it. So, that's going to be beneficial. I'm really glad they're allowing caregivers this time because some other states don't even allow that. Some states don't allow anything like that at all. So allowing something like that allows other patients to receive access, and I think that's probably one of the most important things anyway. So I think that's awesome.
Awesome. We do have to wrap it up. We're almost out of time on the show, and we want to thank you so much for calling in today. DispensaryPermits.com. Next Saturday, 9 a.m., Boston Sheraton Hotel, 39 Dalton Street. Check it out right now. Sign up. Go there next week. And we're the two hotheads where activism happens. We got to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
We know what's going on next week.
Dan Fishman.
Yeah, Dan
is going to
Fishman.
be here.
Candidate for U.S. Senate will be on the show live in the studio, and we'll also have Valerie Vanderpan from the Boston Phoenix, a huge journalist.
Awesome.
Covering the marijuana movement with a new exclusive story. We'll be all over it.
Check it out next Saturday. Check out this event.
Yeah, DispensaryPermits.com. I think I might go actually that morning.
Boston. You can actually go in the morning.
I want to meet. Did we say his name right? Because I was afraid to say it.
Zeta.
Zeta. That's what. Zeta Ceti.
Exactly.
Yeah. I want to meet him.
Let's give a little round of applause.
Yeah. Zeta was fucking.
Thank you.
And Garrett. Let's hear it for Garrett.
Garrett, hey.
And on regular radio. And our producer.
Yes.
And Frank Papone and Hoy. Casey Hoy. And, the other
John Stephen Dwyer.
Yeah, John Stephen Dwyer. All our guests today. It was amazing.
We'll have to finish that SmackDown.
And we're over. And we're back next week. Bye.
Boston Uncensored Radio.